In 1907, Pablo Picasso was living and working in a dilapidated building called Le Bateau Lavoir in the Montmartre section of Paris. It was here that he and Georges Braque invented a new pictorial language that would later become known as cubism. The style was shocking, even to fellow members of the avant-garde. When Picasso unveiled the watershed painting Les Demoiselles d'Avignon to a group in his studio, it met with outrage and confusion. Henri Matisse assumed Picasso was making a joke. But Picasso only kept going, producing dozens of works over the next several years in which forms became even more aggressively splintered. Other members of the Parisian avant-garde soon began experimenting with this radical new language. Artists like Albert Glaise and Jean Metzinger exhibited Cubist works at the salons, drawing public attention to the movement. The more the new style spread, the more outraged the Paris art establishment became. Conservative critics and artists declared Cubism tasteless. These artists were sick, deranged. Their distorted forms seemed like an attack on traditional French values. Cartoonists mocked the style relentlessly. Here we see a Cubist painter being grabbed by the collar and heroically expelled from the landscape. The group did have its supporters, however, and one of them was the art dealer Daniel Henry Kahnweiler. Kahnweiler purchased Picasso's works and argued tirelessly for the importance of this new style. Picasso painted his portrait in 1910. On August 3, 1914, France and Germany declared war on each other. Tens of thousands of troops were mobilized to the front, including several of Picasso's friends. Back in Paris, anti-German sentiment ran high, especially after the destruction of the great cathedral at Rheims in September of 1914. Anti-German propaganda spread furiously throughout France. Magazines like this one emerged. Boche was the nickname for the despised enemy soldiers. As the war raged, Cubism began to take on a strange new political dimension. In conservative circles, the style was no longer seen as merely ridiculous. It began to be seen as distinctly German. It didn't matter that Cubism's roots were clearly French. Nationalistic newspapers began to spell Cubism with a Germanic K. Cartoonists began depicting Cubist painters as Germans. The red hair and barbaric features were the standard signs for caricaturing the enemy. Here, a German commander is rendered with cube-like forms. In wartime France, the style came to be seen as downright unpatriotic, and the fact that Picasso's dealer Kahnweiler was of German origin only added fuel to the fire. What French artists should be doing, nationalistic critics argued, was upholding the classical tradition of French art. This was the way to support one's country, by emulating revered painters like Puvis de Chavannes and Jean-Auguste Dominique Ingres, and reminding the world of France's superiority in the realm of culture. Classically drawn figures began to proliferate in wartime posters and magazines. And even in journals like Le Long, which was founded by avant-garde artists who wanted to show their support for the war effort. Here, in this cartoon from 1922, Cubism and Classicism come face to face. A beautiful toga-wearing figure confronts a distorted sculpture of Venus. The winged child cries for France's decline at the hands of the Cubists. Cubism was an affront to France's self-image as the height of civilization. Its depraved forms seemed the product of barbaric German culture, and indeed, they were repackaged as such. Aesthetic form carried political meaning, whether artists wanted it to or not.